It is July the 22nd here at the Tirconaill Tribune, and this is John McAteer and Eamon McFadden taking a look across the pages of this week's paper in the most beautiful and brilliant weather that we've seen, well, since this time last year. And I suppose the paper doesn't really reflect that. We have some nice stuff on the front of the paper. We're taking a look here, first of all, at Lee Gooch and his son, young Noah, who's Down syndrome, who has been diagnosed with cancer, and they're running a major bed push from Dublin to Donegal, stretching from Crumlin Hospital and all the way to Letterkenny, 250 kilometres. And it's to recognise those who have been part of Noah's life and his treatment. And this is a very, very worthy and deserving beneficiary. Sean Doherty, the former flagship presenter of Highland, was there, pictured this week at the launch of the bed push. And it's something that we will all look forward to either contributing to or joining somewhere along the way in helping them out, and we wish them all the best in that run, and we wish Lee also all the best as himself and the family look forward to Noah's ongoing recovery. Mm-hmm. After that, Eamon will move on to another strange story.
It's a first for Ireland, never mind the locality here, but Dunfanny welcomes a rare visitors, the headline. And in the past week, hundreds of birdwatchers and wildlife enthusiasts have joined the summer throngs in Dunfanny to get a glimpse of the country's rarest visitor, which is an Egyptian vulture. Now, that's the first time a bird of that species has ever been located in Ireland at all, and it's even stranger the fact that it's ended up so far north in the country, because they tend to come from North Africa or Southern Europe. The last breeding pairs would be in around the Pyrenees.
Numbers of people have actually seen this bird.
We've seen somebody apparently seen it coming down, driving along the main road as you come in around the new lake to Dunfanny. That's where it was first spotted, and somebody, because the size of it almost looks like the size of a turkey or something like that, but it's very distinctive. And it landed there, and the word spread, and people came out. It was grazing in around farmland and what have you. So, but that's a unique first Birdwatch Ireland, say, for the country. So that bird was spotted in the Scilly Isles off the coast of England there about a month ago. So it's travelled its way up. It's untagged. It's an adult bird, and what it's doing here. The one theory is that maybe the good weather has brought it here, because it may follow those winds that help it to soar into great heights. So whether we still think it could be in the area, it was last seen up around the Muckish area. So quite a spectacular
interesting
looking thing.
times. I mean, Dunfanny's been very busy all week and all last week, of course. And
lots of visitors.
To spot that bird in the first instance was some eagle-eyed onlooker, and some good footage of it was also captured for Facebook. But we look forward to see what and where it appears next, because there's been a national appeal put out on a drive time programme of RTE by Niall Hatch of Birdwatch Ireland, and they're anxious to get pictures and indeed maybe track
just to know where it is,
it is, and see where it touches down next.
Could be the fungi the dolphin of Dunfanny.
Could be, but probably unlikely. But anyway, we'll leave that story there parked in the meantime, in the hope that it'll be seen again in the not too distant future, and we'll move on to this issue at the council last week. I've just got the page with the heading on. This was the issue this week where the meeting had to be adjourned as Councillor Liam Blaney claimed no confidence in the Cahill, and there was a whole issue went on there for quite a while, and the independent councillor Frank McBurty says he's going to continue to raise the hard questions about the Micah scandal when Donegal County Council reconvenes next week. And this comment comes after last Monday's meeting was adjourned following a proposal from Fianna Fáil's Councillor Liam Blaney, who alleged that personal insults had been thrown around at some elected members. Now, lots of other things were said and done at that point, but that, I suppose, is life in the public domain of the council chamber. And one of the telling comments to me anyway came from Councillor Michael McBride, who just felt that it should not have been adjourned, and he told the Tribune that the meeting should have continued. He pointed out that the additional costs to the taxpayer of having a number of council staff back back for another online meeting wasn't value for money. And you have to bear in mind also that this meeting came in the month that the Donegal County Council members and the 849 local authority members around the country are the beneficiaries of another €8,000 per year. Now, I don't envy them. That rise is something that I've been campaigning for a long time, because they're totally underpaid at just over 17,000 a year. But they're on over 25,000 now. But adjourning meetings and the kind of fracas that I've witnessed in the council over the last 40 years is quite unbecoming, not of the members, but of the people who vote for the members. And I think we should be fit to do better than that, in ensuring that when a meeting begins, that the agenda is completed and done and dusted on that day. More and more that is not happening, and that quite factually is not good enough. Now, after that, we'll just park that one and we'll go to a cycle around Ireland.
We touched on this last week as well, but it's a nice page here now, because there was quite a welcome home there for Billy McMahon after he completed a 2,102 kilometre cycle. Remarkable bit of coverage there. So he was given a hero's welcome when he came back to Ramelton on Monday evening after that marathon cycle. His final day began early at 7:44 a.m. outside Ballykelly, taking him into Derry City in the east of Inishowen and Mallinhead before the toughest of all, when he went through Mamore Gap. That's a fair old cycle, particularly in that heat. But he had set off from Ramelton on the 6th of July, and he had worked his way around the coast all the way. By last Tuesday he had got all the way down to Mizenhead, so he spent the last week coming up, and all of that cycle was done in honour or to raise funds for the Ramelton's tidy town. So Billy got the welcome he deserved, and there went a lot of nice faces, and I see a few cycled along with him as he made his way back into the town there. So
definitely,
well done to him. Now that's a great achievement.
Billy is no stranger to competition.
No,
or like in recent years, and well done to him, and indeed well done to the people who have supported him, because I understand that somewhere beyond 3,000 has already been raised on the Facebook page on behalf of the Tidy Towns Committee in Ramelton. Just have a look in there and see it. And from that, we're going back to 20 years ago. In fact, going back to a broom cupboard. And this was one of our stories at the time, the registry office. And it was regarded as more of a broom cupboard at the time. And this was the story about a local couple who were to marry in the registry office in Tirconaill just a month afterwards, who claimed that the facility is an insult to all those intended to wed there. They have called on the North Western Health Board to explain why they are being asked to solemnise their vows in what they describe as a broom cupboard. I've often been in that place taking pictures. Quite honestly, it's a disgrace. I don't know where the registry office is now. It was based inside a small room in the former nursing home, or the nurse's home actually, just inside the main gate at St Connell's. And according to the couple concerned, there isn't enough space to swing a cat, and couples who use this office are forced to accept the miniature size of the room. And one group recently confessed their marriage was like something out of Close Encounters, while it also gave a new meaning to intimacy, as everyone seemed to bump into each other throughout the service. It's not the nicest way to start your wedding day, by bumping into each other all over the place. But that was a big long story at that time. But anyway, the health boards were responsible for providing the registry office facilities under the Farm Family Law Act. But they had promised, I think we were in touch with the health board a couple of times around then, and I think they had promised to have it upgraded. So let's hope that couple enjoy their big day, and if they're listening to us, good luck to us. Now we'll go back to what Rathmullen Sea Angling.
Return, but
we'll go to the sea for a while.
Back to the sea on a day like that with the sun. So that's the Rathmullen are to host this back hosting sea angling contest again, which is a welcome thing, I suppose. The Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries and the Marine will be in Rathmullen on Friday to launch the National Junior Boat Competition, and that's scheduled for August 21st. Loswilly Junior Angling Club Chairman Charlie Devlin, who's pictured in the paper, said that the event will feature the under-16s along with an under-25 age category. And so Rathmullen, of course, be thronged at the moment, and it has a long maritime history.
Back in the day, Rathmullen
International
had
Taupe Festival.
International Taupe Festival with people like Derek Davis, internationally known
Making the national
competitors.
news.
It always made the national news.
I remember.
It attracted hundreds and hundreds of anglers. You wouldn't get down near the P or down the quay at that point, and the taupe were there aplenty. But suddenly the taupe began to dwindle after a number of years, and they just disappeared. And with it went the angling in Rathmullen.
Yeah.
And it's good now to see that this is coming back as a national competition, and maybe, who knows, what else it might bring in the future. But it's just that the major trawlers, the super trawlers, hoovered up the fish, and it destroyed it. What was a great way of spending a weekend.
Yeah.
And this happened at many, maybe 25 of them around the country, right across Northern Ireland. There was visitors from overseas, from Spain, from Germany, from Italy, and the UK, Northern Ireland, and we had a lot of visitors from Dublin that came up to it. But we're going back to a rather sinister story on the front page. It's not the first time we've been reporting on this type of incident in the same location. The headline tells the story, Militias Ablaze in Glenvar, and there's a picture of a haystack with square bales up near Scraggy Bay, set alight around 11 o'clock last night. A vehicle was seen at the site. The fire was lit from both ends, and probably there was an accelerant used there because it went up like lightning. Lucky for the farmer, in a way, in that about 200 bales had originally been removed. There were 75 still left there, getting a bit of weathering. But the bales belonged to Francie Lowe from Cararea, a couple of miles up the road, and there was, as I said, there was a vehicle spotted there. The Gardaí visited the scene. Obviously, they're looking for anybody who may have seen a vehicle in that area, particularly around 11 o'clock or thereafter, because it was 11 o'clock when this car was seen, and the two ends of the stack just going up, just like in an inferno. And we talked to some of the community out there today who are quite horrified by this, because this is the second attack on the Logue family. The original one was last October at their home. They'd just gone to bed maybe an hour and a half before the incident happened. A Toyota Yaris car, 3-year-old Toyota Yaris car, literally parked outside the front door, 6 or 7 feet from where they were sleeping, suddenly went up on a fireball. Very, very sinister, very, very frightening, because the place was pretty well lit up, and it took a fair brass neck to go up there. I don't know if they have cameras in there or what the Garda investigations were.
Remote enough, isn't it?
Remote enough, surely, like most rural areas, remote enough, but like in the middle of the night, as it happened last October, extremely remote. I don't know if any investigations were ever concluded on that, or if it's still an open book. But this is a very, very sinister thing to happen to the same family on 2 occasions, and obviously, it's hardly a coincidence, No. I mean, anybody you talk to around Glenvar, either last October or today, this is just an arson attack. It's malicious.
Yeah, and significant damage and loss.
Significant, there. But I mean, you can imagine the collateral damage it's doing to the health of that family, their anxiety and their fear. Where do we go from here?
Yeah.
But where we're going from here at the moment, I mean, you're going off for 2 weeks holidays, and you'll be back in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, we'll try and keep the flag flying here at the Tribune, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks very much.
Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you.